Yo, what is going on, everyone? Welcome back to episode 12 of Spread of the News. I'm your host, Chase Carucci, and I'm joined by Brian.
How's everybody doing today? Yankees didn't lose a game this week.
Brian, how's your day going? Let's ask you that
My
again. I
day's
asked you
going.
last week.
My day's going great. Obviously, like I just said, the Yankees were undefeated this week, so let's start a new one. Let's do it again.
And we are also with Danny.
What's up? Let's go Yanks. Best team in the league.
Danny, how's your day going?
I mean, it's kind of early to say that. I woke up about 15 minutes ago, so my day's not really going at all.
Yeah, this is an unusual day of recording for us. We usually record on Sundays after every game that they play. Today, we're doing a Monday morning emergency recording because yesterday we had some scheduling issues. So we're picking it up today. Always got to get that content out, right, boys?
Yeah, we're definitely happy to be here. Was worried about Danny waking up, so.
Hey, I woke up.
Yeah, looking at the clock right now, I'm not sure I'm going to be able to get this out by 12, but I'm going to definitely do my best.
Yeah.
One the latest, but let's just waste no time and we will jump right in. Let's start with our usual Yankee of the week. It was a very eventful week. Danny, take us off here.
All right, well, before I get to my Yankee week, I just want to mention Aaron Judge in his last 7 games is hitting 370. But we all know he's a beast, and we talk about him every week, so we'll do someone else. My Yankee of the week is one of the most fun guys on the team somehow, which none of us expected, Matt Carpenter. This guy is very fun and awesome. Since being on the Yankees, he is hitting 263. He has a 417 on base with an 895 slugging. That's good for a 1311 OPS yeah. That's good in 8 games. That's very good, and he has 4 home runs and 6 RBIs in that stretch. It seems like every time he touches the ball, it's a home run. Out of his 5 hits, he's 5 for 19. Out of his 5 hits, 4 of them are home runs. But in this week, he homered actually in 3 straight games because we had that doubleheader and he didn't play game 2 of that doubleheader. But he homered in 3 straight days. He led off. Well, he homered on Tuesday night in the 9-1 route that we had. And then he led off the game against Ohtani with a home run. That kind of set the tone because we know the Yankees have a knack for killing Ohtani now. And because he's scared of New York, as I always say. He's scared of New York. He didn't want to come here. He didn't want to play here. And that's twice now that he's gotten shelled playing here. So Carpenter leading off the game, that got the scoring going. And that led to a great first inning. Torres ended up hitting a home run later in the inning. And then in that 13-0 game against the Tigers, this one I kind of wanted to talk about because I know Yankees won 13-0, not much to talk about. However, it came out that the Yankees realized that the pitcher on the opposing team, the Tigers, the rookie, Alvin Rodriguez, he was tipping his pitches when he was in the stretch. He was tipping his pitches when he was in the stretch. He was doing a little head nod. If his head went down, it was an off speed. If his head went straight, it was a fastball. So they realized that, and Carpenter was leading off an inning with nobody on base. So what do we love? Bunts against the shift. He knows, like, all right, I could hit one to the second deck, but I want to get the scoring going for my team. So he bunted down the third base line to get the pitcher into the stretch, which I loved. That was awesome. And that ended up leading to a big inning. We scored a lot of runs that inning. And then the next time he's up, he's like, all right, I gave up my at-bat by bunting. I'm just going to send one into the second deck again. Hit a bomb. And, you love that as a Yankee. He came onto the Yankees saying that he would do whatever it takes to be on this team, whatever the team needs for him. That shows. He bunted down the third base line instead of trying to hit a home run. And everybody loves the home runs. I wish, maybe Joe Gallo could take a little lesson for that.
Maybe we have a little bit of Joe Gallo coming up. Who knows? A big hit yesterday.
Yeah.
Go.
But anyway, in the last 7 games, too, he's hitting 294. In his last 7 with the Yankees. I mean, he's only played 8, but aside from that first game, if you take away that first game he had, he is hitting 294 with a 400 OPS and a 1,000 slugging percentage in 7 games in the last 7. That's a 1,400 OPS. He's been awesome. He's been fun. You guys could take it now.
WB Mason is on one of the most historic Yankee slugging runs that I've ever seen. I mean, it feels like every time this guy's up to bat, he hits a home run. And like you said, Danny, with the tipping the pitches, I don't know. Did you get that from? Did you watch the
John
John Boy
Boy.
breakdown? Yeah.
The John
So
Boy breakdown.
yeah, I watched it yesterday, and it was super interesting because I think wasn't it like when Rodriguez looked to third in the stretch, then like an off speed was
That's a
coming.
fastball.
Oh, fastball was coming. Yeah, so he looked to third, and then Carpy just tanked a shot right into.
Yep.
I think it was like the second deck. I don't even. It was a shot for sure. Um,
All of his homers are.
yeah, it's been super interesting to watch Carpenter, especially with like obviously now like it puts it into perspective how much the Yankees really like him because they recently sent Miguel Andujar back down to the minors. He requested a trade. That's a whole mess right now. Maybe if we have time, we can get into that a little later. But yeah, it's definitely interesting to see how much the Yankees have valued Carpy so far.
When they picked him up, like it was so random. I feel like it was so out of nowhere. Like I feel like we were maybe thinking like they couldn't have gotten anyone else like Matt Carpenter. Like he's at the end of the line, but he's just come and been like back to his like best self on the baseball field, which is so fun. Like Danny was saying, and that Ohtani home run, like I was so pumped for that.
Yeah.
So that was the thing, and I did kind of feel like he was unfortunately like a ticking clock because of Donaldson and Stanton, but they're now back and Andujar's gone, which obviously is definitely unfortunate because we all like Andujar. But I think I want Carpenter to stick around. I think he's really fun and they could use him like he could be a big piece.
And he has that experience when it comes to the postseason time.
Yeah.
He has experience. So
Listen to this, right? In 130 games last year, Matt Carpenter hit 3 home runs. This year, through 8 games, he has 4 home runs.
yeah.
That's
And
wild.
like we talked about
think-
in the last episode, he completely fell off a cliff from his big days. But the Yankees liked what they were seeing when he was in the minor leagues this year for Texas. So
Yeah, again, they said he like went across the whole country, like went to different hitting coaches, like trying to like figure out his swing again.
yeah,
And he's figured it out. And when they signed him, I looked at that season last year, Chase, and like I think I texted you guys like this guy's terrible. Like what are we doing?
yeah.
But yeah, I mean Carpy's back, and I love him. I'm a huge like. I mean, how do you not love him?
And it seems he's the team loves him as well.
Do you guys think he comes around? Oh my God. Do you guys think he sticks around come September?
I really
If
hope
he's
so.
playing
I
like
don't-
this.
I
If he's
don't
playing
know.
like this, yes. And Andujar came up here. He didn't have a great stretch of games, so he earned the spot over Andujar. We don't want to just say they kept him over Andujar. He earned it, and Andujar definitely didn't earn it.
I agree. I
but-
think if he, yeah, like you said, if he's hitting, they can't get rid of him because if they do just like get rid of him, I mean, I just did send him down. Like someone's gonna snatch him up. Like he's valuable now.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
can't.
He's
Yeah,
back.
definitely.
Carpy is back.
I'm just interested to see what they do with Andujar because I think we can all agree that he's a big league hitter, and he even showed that he can play left now. Like the Yankees asked him to play like they broke it down on
Looked
the
good in left.
after the post game. Like Andujar has literally done everything they asked. Like he played third, then he tried to play first, like they asked, then he tried to play left, and now he's actually successful in left. So it's I don't know. I mean,
He's just doing anything to get a shot again. Like you said, he wants to be traded. I don't know
Yeah.
how much we could really get from a trade out of him. I mean, he hasn't shown much on the plate. We believe he's a major league hitter. We saw he was a major league hitter his rookie year, but he really hasn't showed it since. He got hurt. Injuries are devastating. It sucks, but he really hasn't shown it. I mean, he looked good in left, yes, but it's really would a team view him as a major league hitter, and how valuable of a hitter do they view him?
I'm fine with packaging him in for Cole Calhoun
Yeah,
or Benintendi.
Benintendi, yes. I don't know about Cole Calhoun.
and
for me,
Duhar straight
but-
up for Brian Reynolds.
I mean, I love Andujar, but like, there's no spot for him now, I guess. And if they do trade him to one of those teams, like he'll start right away, and everybody's happy. So the Yankees get the outfielder that they need.
I just can't see them sending him off for like a piece of cheese. Like I feel like the Yankees aren't like that kind of run organization where if someone requests a trade, they'll just trade him off for like nothing. I feel like they're gonna have him stick around and he's just gonna have to fight through it like he always has.
Yeah,
It could. I don't know. I mean, it could get ugly.
It reminds me, or it does remind me of like the Clint, like it's a Clint situation.
Yeah.
A
Yeah.
little.
I mean, like we've said in the past, like there was a time where Clinton and Duhar, we could have packaged Clinton and Duhar. We said Glaber, but now Glaber's good again. You could package Clinton and Duhar, and they would have got you anything in this. Anything, literally would have got you anything. But we held on to them for too long, and now Clint walked for free to the Cubs, and is bad. Of course, he's bad.
Yeah.
And Duhar is struggling to find a role.
Well, I guess that will have to be determined, right? I feel like we said that a lot on this podcast, and we will cover that when that time comes if he does eventually get traded.
Mm-hmm.
So I am gonna go into my Yankee of the week here. There is a lot of options that I wanted to go with this week, but I gotta go with one guy in particular. I'm gonna go with Luis Severino this week. So Luis Severino, in his last start against the Tigers, on June 4th, he gave up no runs, one walk, 10 strikeouts, one hit, and 7 innings pitched. So I don't know if you guys saw the play in, I think it was earlier in the game, maybe third or fourth inning, but Miguel Cabrera lined a line drive past Isaiah Kiner-Falefa. It took like a weird trajectory off of him, and IKF didn't come up with the ball, and they ruled it a hit, but it could have been caught. So, and obviously seeing that Severino only gave up one hit that game, he could have, who knows, pitched maybe even no hitter. I mean, his stuff looked insane. Like, I think the biggest thing with Severino this year, I'm not sure if we've talked about it in the past, but he's no longer like a 2-pitch pitcher. He can now like mix up a bunch of different pitches, and I just think like his stuff is like so much better than I think everyone thought it was going to be. Especially this early in the season. Like, I didn't expect him to be this good. I mean, I expected Severino to be a big player for us, but I mean, he's literally like ace material right now. I mean, he has a 2.95 on the season, and he's 4-1. Like, what more can you ask for from Severino?
I completely agree.
Doesn't really mean much, but
and I did not expect it. I'll be the first one to admit I was a little like weary of Sevy. Like, I was hoping he could be a back end rotation guy just to give us some depth, but he's done everything and more. Like you said, ace material. It's so nice to have him back. Like we said going into this season that like he was going to be huge, like in determining how their season went. And that you're seeing that right now. I mean, the whole rotation's been great, but Sevy's been awesome so far. And just one thing I worry about him is, I mean, he hasn't pitched in like 2 years, so it's like they got to make sure he's not like wearing himself out this early. But
he's got a lot of innings. He's up to like 55 innings right now, so
yeah,
it'll be interesting to see how they treat him down the stretch.
I have been surprised Booney letting him stay in a little later in games because of that reason. We've seen pitchers come off of seasons where they don't pitch and they completely burn themselves out by August, and they are completely different pitchers towards the end of the season. We saw that with Taijuan Walker last year on the Mets. But yeah, I mean, Sevy has been awesome. This whole rotation has been awesome. And this whole pitching staff has been awesome. We're leading the league in team ERA. Brian, I know you're going to get into another starting pitcher, but I just wanted to throw it out there. Our highest starting pitcher ERA is 3.02. That's like we have 5 aces basically. Yeah. Like you take 3.02 from your ace, and our highest ERA is 3.02 from Jordan Montgomery. I mean, we have Taillon with a 2.3, Nestor with a 1.5, Cole with a 2.78, and like you said, Severino with 2.95. It's just been awesome to see, and we had think back to our first episode. We're talking about our rotation and kind of the worries we have with our rotation, but we kind of look stupid now. I mean, everybody does. Yeah. Nobody expected this from our rotation. Obviously, I mean, it's impossible to expect this. It's possible to expect we have 5 aces. I mean, you think regression towards the mean is coming, but it's June. It's June. Like, once you get into June, it's no longer a fluke. It's not just an early season fluke. Like, these guys are freaking good. Matt Blake is a wizard, and this team is awesome.
And just to build off of that a little bit, like, last year, our ace, who was top 3 in Cy Young voting, Garrett Cole, had a 3.24 to finish the year. Obviously, a much bigger sample size. He had a lot more starts, and it's only June right now. But like you said, Danny, like when you make it to June, like you start kind of to get a feel of what your team is really looking like. And just to see everyone succeeding like this, it's wild because we've been waiting for this for years. I mean, we stuck through James Paxton era with all those guys, with Jay Happ, James Paxton. Like to think back on that rotation,
Lance Lynn, Sonny
Lance
Gray.
Lynn, Sonny Gray, Jaime Garcia. I mean, thinking back on all those guys and then looking at what we have now, like if this keeps up, all 5 of these guys could be all-stars, right? And this is not something that we should take for granted because we will never see this again. We will never see this again.
Yeah, I mean, and like you say, all 5 of them could be all-stars. That can't really happen because I don't really take too much into all-star games anymore for any sport. It's really just a big popularity contest nowadays for every single sport. Football, probably the worst one, and especially the way baseball does it, that every team has to have an all-star. So like,
Yeah, that's
they're not
shocking.
going to put 5 Yankee pitchers in the all-star game because they have to get. Even like the Pittsburgh Pirates have to have. Oh well, Brian Reynolds, I guess, but
like that's the thing. They all 5 of them could be all-stars. Like if they could be. You know what I mean?
If it was based on like actual statistics and not just popularity and every team needing to have an all-star, then yeah, we would get it. And like everybody hates the Yankees. Like we're going to get down to the end of the line, and it's going to be Nestor Cortez for Cy Young, Aaron Judge for MVP, and they're going to give it to Trout or Verlander at the pitching just because they don't want the Yankees to have it.
Yeah. Hopefully that's not the case because both Judge and Nestor
Well, the
are so
MLB power
right now.
The MLB just released their power rankings as of now for MVP, and Trout was still 1 over Judge, which makes absolutely 0 sense.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Trout's in like a career bad skid right now.
Yeah, he's like 0 for his last.
That made me so mad.
It's so crazy.
Yeah,
Again,
happened
it's
as soon as
who people like more. It's who people like more and who people want to see up there. It's like when Altuve won over Judge wrongfully. He was a popular, liked guy. That was before the cheating scandal came out. Like everybody liked Altuve back then, so you'd rather give it to him over a Yankee.
Yeah, I think that when they did the Cy Young power rankings, Nestor wasn't even in it or something. Yeah. Wasn't he not in it?
I don't think. Yeah.
I mean, yeah. I don't remember even seeing the power rankings, but if that's the case, that's just completely.
It's ridiculous. And Judge is gonna have.
Or maybe he was in it, but he wasn't one. I don't know. Nestor was like wrong. It was wrong, whatever he was. He might have been in it, but lower than people he shouldn't have been lower than. But it's like the Yankee bias like has to like relax a little bit. Like why can't everybody just admit how good this team is? Like it's so.
Yeah. You can't. But yeah, Judge is having a lot better season than Trout now, and they still put Trout over him. That's just how it is.
Somehow Trout's WAR is right there with Judge's WAR. I don't know how. Judge is better than Trout in every freaking statistic. It's insane.
It doesn't even make sense because obviously like Trout is pushed by the MLB as like the best player in baseball right now, and some people think ever, but it's still like Aaron Judge, who is, I think maybe if not the face of baseball, one of definitely the face of baseball, and it's New York, it's the Yankees. Like why are you not trying to?
He was at a time. I mean, there was an argument, like after his rookie year, there was an argument for him being the face of baseball. It kind of went down a little bit. That was because after that 2017 year, that was kind of the only Yankee team that people liked, that people outside of Yankee fans liked because they weren't supposed to be good and they actually, made it a crazy run, a Cinderella run, if you will, to Game 7 of the ALCS. But then we traded for Stanton. Everybody's like, the same old Yankees. Let's hate him again. So nobody likes him.
And I just want everyone to keep in mind, like the 3 of us are not Trout haters. Like we don't hate Trout at all.
Trout.
But you gotta, call it like it is. And right now, this is just the way that it is. Judge is just, to me. I mean, maybe some other people might disagree.
No, it shouldn't. No, if to other people, if Trout is above Judge, then they're wrong. They're simply wrong. You can't say like to me, them. I think you're just wrong.
Yeah, sorry. I know you're trying to be nice, Chase, but if you don't think Judge is MVP right now, like you have issues.
No, I do think he's the MVP.
It should be unanimous.
Yeah. But
no, I know you do, but I'm saying other people don't.
No, if your opinion is something else, then you're just wrong.
I just know, like you guys know how it works with the baseball writers. You know it's going to come down to it, and if Judge has the better numbers, and the Yankees are in the playoffs and Trout's not in the playoffs, I don't know. I think.
Yeah, but the baseball writers.
I think we might. I think we might.
Those old geezers that still. Those guys that were born in the 40s still taking batting average as into account as the most important stat. Those baseball writers have no idea what they're doing.
Yeah. I've definitely evolved. Batting average was big for me for a long time, and I think now OPS is my favorite stat.
I mean, you like batting average. Judge is hitting .313.
I mean,
So
I still like
Trout is
batting
hitting
average.
274.
I still think batting average is more
Even if
valuable than people make it out to be.
I agree. I don't love
OPS is
like
my
the
favorite
narrative
stat.
that batting average is
I don't
meaningless,
like
but
I
it
don't like using
does
batting
mean a
average
lot.
as the main stat to credit someone or miscredit. Like if you're higher batting average and then the other person has like every other stat better than you, you shouldn't win MVP. Jose Altuve.
Like
But
there are literally I'll make this point and then Brian can go into his Yankee of the week. But there are literally people on Twitter that will say like oh, this guy's hitting like literally Joey Gallo is a perfect example. Maybe not so much this year, but oh, this guy's hitting like 200, but he has like 120 WRC plus, and like if you're hitting 180, you're bad. Like, do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I do get it. I like it just I don't love using it, but I only sometimes they really like I can't believe Judge hitting 313 right now. Like that's insane to me. So like
Yeah.
I'll use it there
It
to
might
like
keep up. I mean, he's done it
yeah.
this long so far. It might
again,
keep
it's
up.
June.
And remember, in his rookie year, he was having this similar type stretch, and actually, right now, he's even having a better stretch than he had in his rookie year. But his average completely tanked that year because he had a brutal month of what was it, like July or August?
Yeah, it was after the All-Star break. Maybe was it after the Derby?
It was after the
it was
Derby.
after the
Yup.
home run derby.
Yup.
He was hitting 336. I'm pretty sure going into that All-Star break, and he ended the season hitting 284.
Yeah. So
he
like,
kinda,
yeah, it dipped like crazy, but obviously Judge is a more mature hitter now and much more mature player, so we could definitely see this stay consistent for the whole year.
If we want to talk about that, Judge after the All-Star break in July, he hit 230, and then in August he hit 185 in that 2017 season. So he kind of fell off after the home run. People blame the home run derby, but
what were his numbers in September?
September, he had a hot September. He hit 15 home runs in September.
He
Had a
right
311. He had a 311 batting average, a 1352 OPS.
Jesus
I mean,
Christ.
Yeah, he was insane in
I think he won
September/October. They played a couple games in October. But yeah, I mean, these stats are crazy. I mean, even the July stats you'll take. He had an 847 OPS. Again, we don't want to use batting averages. I'm not saying he had a bad July, but we were talking about his batting average dropping. But
I think he won Player of the Month that September, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, he was. I mean, he was insane. How could you not be? But all right, let's get back to this season, Yankees. How about it?
Brian, Yankee of the week. Let's do it, kid.
All right. Again, like both you guys said, like you could choose so many guys. It's an undefeated week, as I said before. We talked about Sevy already. We talked about Tyone a lot in the past episodes. So we're gonna talk about him again after this, but I'm not picking Tyone. We talked about Nestor so much. Not picking Nestor. I'm gonna go with a guy who we love, but weirdly doesn't get a lot of praise on here. And it's Garrett Cole. He had one start this week. Again, the whole rotation could be considered for this. One start this week, 7 innings pitched, 2 hits, did not give up a run, did not walk anybody, struck out 9. So he's down to a 2.78 right now. He finally, he struggled a little bit to start the season. This is Garrett Cole. He's back. He's the anchor in this rotation that they needed. We all feel confident with him on the mound now. Again, he was lights out in this game. He's been lights out for a while. He got the run support in this game that he needed. They won 13-0. So again, Cole is Cole now again, which we need, and the whole rotation is just been absurd. So, but yes, my Yankee of the week is Cole.
He went 6 2/3 that game, 6 2/3 that game without a hit, if I remember correctly. And then I think he gave up. Was it a double, Danny, or was it a single? I think it was
that wasn't the double off kind of fluff his glove. He gave up a single.
He gave up a single, okay. And then I mean, to follow up, I don't want to go too much into Jamo because I want him to have his own segment.
He needs his own segment.
Yeah, I won't go into that. But to follow up what Jamo did the night before, and for Garrett to almost pitch his own, it was honestly he was perfect. It was almost a perfect game. So it just insane to watch. And we always are giving praise to this rotation throughout the entire year. And I always say, I sound like a broken record. It's just a testament to how good our rotation has been this year. It's just like I said before, you will never see this again.
Yeah. I just think it's crazy. We will talk about Jamo, but they had multiple guys flirted with a perfect game in the same week. What?
Sevy too, dude.
It's like stupid. I saw some tweet. I don't remember who it was. Either maybe Sweeney Murder or someone was like, so the Yankees have just decided, their pitching staff has just decided to not let anybody get hits or score anymore. Like it's insane. Like I
What
remember
a thing
thinking
to
that, and I was
decide.
talking to you guys about it too. That stretch, probably this whole week we could call it, but it was that like 4-game stretch was the best stretch of starts I've ever seen ever, and probably ever will see again. And I don't know if
From this
any
week, you're saying?
yeah,
Yeah.
those like 4 in a row. It was like it was
Right, yeah.
Sevy Nestor, Tyone, and Cole. I think like they all pitched. I don't know if that was the right order, but they all pitched
Yeah.
like and it was great. Like nobody, like these other teams had no chance against them. It was insane. I don't know if any teams ever had a stretch like that, 4 straight absurd starts that like that. It was crazy.
Yeah, I got it. I got it right here. I mean, this was posted before the game yesterday, so no, we're not talking about Montgomery's start yesterday, which was good again. But their last 5 games, the Yankees rotation 5 games before yesterday's Sunday game, 36 innings pitched, just 14 hits, 2 runs allowed, 4 walks, and then 35 strikeouts. Like that's fucking insane. That's insane. That is unheard of in this game. That's unheard of for the Yankees. Like coming into the season, that wasn't our strength. That's never our strength. Pitching, like all right, we have good pitching staffs that kind of always outperform expectations for the most part. But this is absolutely out of this world. This is like record. This is like getting up there for the best pitching staff ever. I mean,
Yeah. And I even remember thinking back to the beginning of the season. I remember like we were using our bullpen a lot and like our arms are getting tired. And I'm just thinking to myself, like, if things don't change, then the bullpen's gonna get worn out and it's not gonna be good. And obviously now that we had Chapman go down, Loizaga go down, Chad Green go down, um, I don't know if I'm missing anyone. I think I'm probably missing one more. But now that we've seen all those guys go down, to see that the starters have picked up that slack, I mean, it feels like every single game, everyone's going 7 or 8 innings, and then you just hand the ball off to Clay.
yeah.
And then if it's a blowout, then you give it to Wandy. It's insane what they're doing right now.
Manny Banuelos too.
Yeah, Manny got his
Finally.
Yankees major league debut this week.
Finally, he went 2 innings. He relieved Cole in that game. Since we're talking about Cole, 2 innings of 1-hit baseball, and I love how he was wearing number 68 to honor Dylan Betances, the Killer Bees.
Killer Bees, baby. Shout out Dylan Betances. I missed him so much. I loved him.
He was awesome. He was one of the best relievers in the league at one point for us.
Yeah.
Remember that trio of Dylan Betances, Andrew Miller, then Chapman? Insane.
That's just a stupid bullpen. If you really just.
It was amazing.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I'm speechless with what the rotation's been doing. And let's finish off the rotation talks with Jameson Tyone.
Oh, let's go, Jamie.
Brian, since Jamo's your boy, he's always been your boy. Why don't you walk us through it? What happened?
He is my boy, and I'm so happy, like, with all this that's been going on with Jamo. So yes, the other night, I don't know exactly which night it was, Jameson Tyone came very close to throwing a perfect game, which. What did you say? My connection's better, but yeah, he came really close to throwing a perfect game. I was like shaking, like, because I actually was able to catch like the end of it. I was like shaking watching that. It's like, it's heartbreaking when IKF made a great play and then like followed up with like one maybe he should have had, but it's all right. I mean, that was an incredible start from Jamo. That game was crazy. For them to, it was like the 8th inning and he was perfect, and then somehow they come out of that inning losing and now have to rally back and score, which we were frustrated that whole game. They couldn't score for him as he's throwing like a perfect game. And then they battle back to win that game. Rizzo finally comes through the big hit. So just Jamo has done this. I mean, this was obviously his best start, but Jamo has done this all year. He's been insane. I don't know. Somebody has his updated ERA right now. Whatever it is.
30. 2-3.
You got it, Denny? What is
2-3.
it? 2-3?
2-3 from Jameson Tyone. Like,
I mean,
he's
with a .9 whip.
Good.
0.9 whip.
I was so like, I love that they took that chance on him, and it's paying off so much for both parties. Like, I love these Jamo starts. I'm so excited to watch him start now, like every game. I've always been that way, but Again,
It's
speechless about Jamo.
it's awesome to see too, because he's been through so much in his career. Like he had testicular cancer and was forced to miss a year. He had Tommy
Two
John
Tommy
surgery
Johns.
twice, right?
Yeah.
Twice. I
Two
mean,
Tom-
to see what he's doing on such a big stage with such a good team in such a good rotation, um, you can't help but be happy for the guy. I mean, I'm smiling from ear to ear right now thinking about JMO. And I'll own up to it. Like I always say, like last year I wasn't the biggest JMO fan. I thought he was just, your average back end rotation guy. But this year, again, another guy in this rotation that is literally pitching like the best pitcher in the MLB.
Yeah. I mean, as you said, the IKF with the great play, then a play he could have made. That kind of ended both perfect games. Like in Cole's perfect game, DJ made a great play and then missed the diving play, kind of like how IKF went. That was pretty funny. But we talk about ERA with these guys. So, I mean, this rotation, they're whips, which we haven't really talked about that as a stat. It's basically how well you are at keeping runners off base. And a 1.3 whip is about average, I'd say.
Stands for what is it? Walks plus hits divided by innings pitched.
Yeah, yes, walks, hits divided by innings pitched. So 1.3 is around the average. 1.2 is very good. When you get down to 1, like around a 1 whip, that is Cy Young territory.
Top of the line and under
Top of the line
is
Cy Young
ridiculous.
territory. Do you want to hear these 5 starting pitchers' whips?
Please let me hear it. Please.
Nestor Cortez leading our pitching staff with a 0.87 whip. That's under 1. 0.87. Tyone comes in second with a 0.9 whip. Garrett Cole comes in third with a 0.96 whip. That's 3 starting pitchers with under a 1. Now, Luis Severino, 1 even, 1.0 whip. Jordan Montgomery, 1.01 whip. So they're all hovering around that sub 1 mark for a whip. That is fucking insane, along with their ERAs being absolutely crazy. This pitching staff, you can't say enough about it. I mean, it is awesome. Like, again, like Jay said, speechless. Like, it's fucking crazy.
It doesn't feel real. Like that. I think that's the way to put it. It doesn't feel real.
Crazy. Like, to say our pitching staff is the bright spot of this team when you have hitters like Aaron Judge. I mean, obviously Aaron Judge is another bright spot, but we talk about the pitching staff most. To say that the pitching staff is what we talk about most, when you have Aaron Judge, Giancarlo Stanton, Anthony Rizzo, and all these big hitters, it's just awesome to see that we could win in so many different ways. I love it.
I'm looking at the American League leaders in WHIP. So no other team. So we're gonna look at the top 12 guys in WHIP in the whole American League. No other team has more than 1 guy in the top 12. All 5 of the Yankees rotation, all of them are in the top 12 WHIP in the American League. It's insane.
And they have like Danny said earlier in this episode, they have the lowest team ERA in the entire MLB, right in front of the Dodgers. They were second for a couple weeks, and now they finally are ahead of the Dodgers. So that's awesome to see.
Yeah, and I want WHIP to be mentioned more because that kind of goes with the ERA as the most important pitching stat. I think ERA and WHIP are the most important.
And then what's the record now? Are they 38 in 39 and 15? They're 39 and 15.
Best record in the league.
Plus 102 run differential.
Just absurd. And that's like Danny, again, like you just said, like we have so many good bats in the lineup, but I think for me personally, I'm crediting it all this just amazing run by the Yankees, this amazing start to the starting pitching.
Of course.
Because they're always keeping the Yankees in games, always. Oh, even when the offense isn't going, and then the Yankees end up scoring later in the game, like the starting pitching is always just keeping them in the game. That's why their record is so good.
I mean, in that Cole start, we scored 13 runs. So, like, whatever. But in Jameson Tyone start, we only scored 2. So if he's not throwing a perfect game, and he only gave up 1 run in the 8th, if he's not throwing a perfect game, we lose. Like, there's no really other way to put it. We only scored 2 runs. So it's great to see the starting pitching be able to carry some games. Carry almost all of these games, which is.
I mean, and that's again, we could even give a little nod to the offense, especially in that game with Tyone. Like, they don't go away. Like, really, like you could shut them out for 8 innings, but they're gonna find a way to scratch if if it's close enough. And they win in so many different ways. Like, they don't rely on the home run, although they still hit them, but they don't need to. Like it's just like they run the bait. Like they're great. Like there's no complaints about this team. You can't have any besides maybe Aaron Hicks. But
Brian, do you know what's different about this team as compared to like the last couple of years?
tell me.
So when Jamo was throwing his perfect game and we were like, this would be the most Yankees loss ever if the Yankees didn't score while Jamo is en route to throwing a perfect game, right?
Mhm.
The reason why this team is different than teams in the past is because, like you said, they're never out of games and they will find a way to score. So, like in past years, if someone was throwing a perfect game, I'm convinced they're getting shut out. Like that's just the way of the old last couple of years. And this team is just such a different breed to me. And it's so weird because I didn't expect like I know it's still early, but I didn't expect any of this. And I'm sure like you guys probably didn't either. But like I expected them to be fighting for first place. And right now they have a commanding 7.5 game lead over the Blue Jays right now. It's insane. It really is.
It's like I saw on Twitter the Red Sox are like 6-4 in their last 10, or 7-3 in their last 10, something like that. And they
Yeah, they just
still
got back to
lost a step on
500.
the Yankees. They still lost a step on the Yankees. Like the Yankees, doesn't matter. You got to win. Basically, like the Yankees proved this week. You basically got to go undefeated in a week to gain ground in the standings. So,
And
It's
really
awesome.
quick about Jamo's perfect game, I have to say this. When the top of the order came up and he got out Ward, Otani, and Trout, I was like, okay, like holy shit, this is it. Like it's happening. Like he's gonna throw the perfect game because those are the three guys that you expect to get the hit.
yeah.
I'm like, holy shit, like this is it. This is like it's gonna happen. And then IKF made that sliding play at some point, and I was like, holy shit, that's the play. Like this is it.
That's the play. And that
Like
was in the
that's the
eighth
play
inning. It was
because
late.
every perfect game there's always one sick play, or every no hitter there's always one sick play, and I'm like, oh my god, that's the play. But
Yeah.
unfortunately, of course, he came short. Ended up
Fair
giving up a
balls.
run, but not much more to say about Jamo. Just speechless, really.
Awesome stuff.
Speaking of JMO, he will toe the rubber tomorrow night against the Twins. Back at it.
How about the wait? Sorry. How about the fact that Jamo was commenting on Jordan Montgomery's post a week ago, saying, "Yes, go off, King."
Yeah.
That was so funny. I don't know. Like I saw another comment like that. I think it was on Twitter. Like Nestor posted something just about like the team, like of himself, and JMO comments like King. Like what? Dude, he is so funny. Like we never have seen that side of JMO, but I guess because he's like electric this year, he's like coming out of his shell a little. I
Dude,
don't
is
know
he the
what's going on.
personality in the clubhouse?
Maybe he
He
is. I don't
might
know.
be.
Didn't they- All we knew about JMO since he's been a Yankee was like Aaron Boone's like telling us that he makes a mean cup of coffee, but now he's like a Cy Young contender, and he's commenting these hilarious things like on the Yankees social media posts. So like this is just so
Yeah.
fun. Like it's such a
Yeah.
I
See,
love
and that's
it.
another thing. Before we get into the Twins series preview, we have an off day tonight. Fucking, I hate off days. They suck,
The
especially when the
worst.
team is this good. But just seeing during the games how like close this rotation is. They're always at the end of the dugout with each other. They're always talking to each other. It seems like they're always laughing with each other. Does it like even when the guy's on the mound, the starting pitcher's on the mound, and all four of them are in the dugout making a joke about him on the mound, like laughing at him on the mound. It's awesome
It's a
to
different
see. Like,
vibe.
when a team gels together like that, when you got that chemistry, you actually like each other and you're close. It's awesome, and that just makes for better play. It's always better when you actually like your teammates.
Now I'm actually super curious. Who do you guys think is like you know how like 2017
Yay.
it was Todd Frazier?
Yeah.
2022 or 2020 it was Odor. I'm trying to think
It
of
was Donaldson the beginning part of this year until the whole
I'm trying to think of the personalities over the last couple of years. Who do you guys think is like the main guy in the clubhouse this year? Do you even
Maben was
have
one. Maben was one.
Maben, yep.
Like
Maben.
personalities or just like kind of random guys that like
Just
are,
like you know how like just like that one guy that like is always just making everyone laugh and just rallying the team together.
I mean, I think
I
it
think
was
it's gotta be
Donaldson early in this
Nestor.
year. It was Donaldson early this year, but now I think Nestor, but Donaldson not anymore because his teammates don't like him.
I'm
We
gonna
have a
go
bunch.
out.
I mean, you could
Go
Rizzo
ahead.
is one. Like there's a bunch.
That's see
Trevino?
again. That's
I was
what's
gonna
different
say
about
I'm
this
gonna go
team.
out on a limb and say that it's actually Rizzo
Yeah,
because I feel like I am always seeing every like a different player every inning like talking to Rizzo and like making Rizzo laugh or like Rizzo's making them laugh. And Rizzo seems like a really quiet guy on the field. And I think behind closed doors it might be Rizzo.
All right. Well, how about Rizzo somehow getting to the Ranger game after the Yankees got postponed, getting to the Rangers game in less than an hour or
Yeah,
so? How do
that
you
was
get from the
wild.
Bronx in that traffic? I don't. Who knows?
He
But-
had to have left before the game was postponed. He had to have
Yeah,
left.
he had
before
to
it
have
was
just
postponed.
guessed. Yeah, which is a huge risk to take.
I mean, is he even? He's definitely not allowed to do that. So maybe the Yankees knew before everyone. I'm sure they did, but I don't know. That was insane.
But also, we say this team is so different. I mean, that right there is what's different about this team. Like, you can't really choose one guy. That's even so, as far as a clubhouse personality, you can't even choose one guy that it is, because it seems like we could choose everyone, and that's just so different about this team, because this team just has a different chemistry. They play with heart. Like, they're not giving up on games anymore. Like last year, if they get down, game's basically over. But and it seems like that in their body language and the way they play. But this year, they're never out of it. They're playing with a swagger that we haven't seen in a while, and I love it. We thought that the whole Donaldson incident might have been a little damper on that, but it hasn't, and they're still playing amazing.
It's awesome. It really, really is. And it sucks, like you said, Danny, that they have the off day today, because there's nothing I love more than watching some Yankees baseball.
Yeah, love it.
So our next series, boys, is against the Minnesota Twins. Big series, because they're actually a solid team this year. Like, I wasn't expecting, like I said in the beginning of the year when the Twins got Correa, like they might be playing 500 baseball by the deadline and they might trade him off. But they're playing like much better than I thought they would. They're actually legitimate. I don't know. They're not a legitimate contender. I don't think they're a legitimate contender.
Well,
but they're definitely a
their
legitimate.
division, so that means
Yeah, I think they're obviously a playoff team right now. So this is a big series.
I said, don't count them out. Never count them out. They're always mediocre and decent. I said that it's not that realistic to think that they're going to be so bad.
And we've got Jamo on the bump tomorrow, so that's fire.
To win.
Twin starter's not announced yet for some reason. I don't know why.
Yeah, that's weird.
And then the following game, we've got Nestor against Chris Archer. Chris Archer always finds a way to pwn us, by the way. So be ready for the Yankees offense to go quiet. And
that's a Yankee killer.
On Thursday, we have Cole against Dylan Bundy, who I feel
Brian.
like is another guy.
Dylan Bundy, Brian, do you remember our Dylan Bundy experience?
Oh, of course. Yeah, me and when Dylan Bundy was on the Angels last year, me and Danny were asked to leave the bullpen area for heckling him. That's pretty much the story.
No, and then in that game, yeah, me and Brian were yelling at him in the bullpen, and then during that game, in the second inning, he threw up on the mound and had to get taken out. So,
oh my god!
Yeah. So, yeah, Yankee fans, if you're listening and you remember that, yeah, I guess you could pretty much credit that to me and Danny, because I guess we got in his head so much he just stepped off and just started puking everywhere.
Yeah, that was awesome.
That's sad. You guys didn't invite me. It's terrible.
Oh, all right. I guess it's a little awkward now.
I wasn't invited.
Yeah.
So,
anyways, we always find a way to bring up Gary.
But this time it's actually warranted.
Yes, this time it is warranted. We got the Gary reunitement this week.
Sanchino.
Gary, I don't know if anyone has his stats right now. I'm going quick to go pull them up.
I'm pulling them up right now.
Yeah. If you've got him.
It's a very Gary-esque year. It's been a Gary-esque year. It's he's hitting 229, which is actually pretty good for him. He's hit 7 homers, 27 RBIs, 735 OPS, so he's actually having a pretty solid year.
Yeah. It's gonna be interesting. Do you guys think he homers or in the series against us or what?
No, I think he looks like a fool. He's still although I mean, this is a pretty good season for a catcher and him, which I mean, I guess I'm happy for him. I don't like him, but I don't know. But I still have seen on Pitching Ninja him taking these brutal swings at pitches in the other batter's box and in the dirt. So he's still doing that. So I'm hoping to see a lot of that this week from the rotation, carving him up a little.
I mean, they say they love Gary's work ethic and good attitude in Minnesota, which is very weird.
I mean, we all knew he needed to get out of New York.
Yeah.
I feel like Gary in New York always had like a positive mindset. Like I would always see him post on Instagram like stay with me, like I'm working hard, like -- L Gary.
He always had a good work ethic. I mean, that was kind of honestly, his good work ethic was kind of his downfall in New York. As much as it's weird to say that, but he heard the criticism about his fielding, so all he worked on in the offseason was fielding. Great work ethic. I mean, every day you're seeing videos of him working on his fielding, and then all of a sudden he didn't work on his hitting enough, and then he forgot how to hit. So really, you could credit his good work ethic to him being bad.
And some people attribute that to Joe Girardi, who actually just got fired this week.
Yes,
got the boot.
Yes.
I have to ask you guys this question now. Did you, when Boone was hired, did you see Aaron Boone outlasting Joe Girardi in Philadelphia?
No.
I mean, when he was hired, we didn't really know. But after his first few seasons with the Yankees, definitely not. But
let's bring Joe back for just give him something, make up a job for him. He should be part of this.
Yeah, but again, for all those kids out there, great lesson. Just try less. Don't try as hard, and you'll be better.
Attaboy, Danny. Bringing some lessons to the younger generation of the STN fans. I love it.
Yep. My little cousin Luke, I'm talking to you, bud.
What?
He listens every week. He loves it.
Appreciate it, Luke. Shout out, Luke.
Shout out, Luke.
What was I gonna say? I think it was about Rob Thompson, former Yankees bench coach. Phillies are 3-0 under him as manager. So super interesting. Super interesting to see how that team is going to play now without Joe Girardi at the helm. I guess we'll have to find out. Another TBD for us here.
Indeed.
But that's I think that's all I've got for today. We got a quick series against Minnesota Twins. Gonna get to see, is Gio hurt? I haven't heard.
I don't know, but he's having. I have his stats pulled up because I did want to mention. Like, I don't like not talking about the Yankees. But if we did bring up Gary, like, I want to talk about my boy Gio. He's having a good year. He's hitting 268, five homers, 23 RBIs, 722 OPS. So, I mean, they don't need him on this team, but I'm rooting for Gio to do well, especially except against us.
I think I remember.
And no, he's not hurt, by the way. He's
not hurt. Okay. Yeah, it's gonna definitely for me. It's gonna be really weird to see Gary against us in a different uniform, just because.
Yep.
You know, I don't need to explain why, but I think Gary is gonna have a putrid series, but I do think he's gonna have one clutch home run. And they're like, of course, it's gonna be like Danny always says. Of course, it's the shitty catcher that gets
the shitty hitting catcher.
Hitting catcher. Even though I guess you could probably say Gary's one of the better hitting catchers in the MLB, right? Is that fair to say? At least this year?
I guess right now, yeah. Which I hate to say, but yeah. Do they come to New York? I know this year's in Minnesota, but I'd be really curious to see like the reception he would get.
Yeah.
I would have to think he'd get booed.
I'd cheer for him. I
would cheer for him. I'd have to think he'd get booed.
I would cheer.
I
think Gio will get cheers, and I think he'll get booed.
Well, that's.
I feel like everybody
a lot of
people liked Gary. I don't
know. No, dude. I liked Gary. I can't speak for you and Brian, but
I liked Gary.
Yeah, Brian is shaking his head. If you're listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, Brian is shaking his head that he did not like Gary.
You know what? I'm gonna ease up on Gary a little bit because he needed to get out. He's having a better year, and he's no longer my most hated Yankee because Aaron Hicks exists. So
Hey. We made it so close with really no Aaron Hicks.
I was hoping we were gonna go an episode without mentioning Hicks.
And so close to the end.
No, I don't want to talk about him. Believe me, I don't want to talk about him. Just that's it.
That's it. Just his name is enough.
I actually really quick. Did you guys see that swing and miss by Luke Voigt the other day on the Padres?
Yeah.
I didn't, but he's terrible. I kind of feel bad because I love him. But
Brian, I'll send you the video after this. Brian, it was literally a frisbee at his eyes, and he just it was like a strike three. Thank God we don't have that on the Yankees this year. It's just, I liked Luke Voigt, but maybe we'll get into that. Do we even play the Padres this year? I doubt it, right? So maybe we'll get into that.
Probably not.
Padres, but yeah, we'll see what happens in the Twin series. Reunitement with Gary. That's all I've got for today. If you guys have anything else to say, please feel free to speak your mind. Yeah, so I guess that's it. Make sure to follow us on Twitter at official STN pod and on Instagram at spreading the news. And make sure to subscribe and like the video on YouTube. Remember, we always post every week on YouTube as well as Spotify and Apple Podcasts. So make sure to sub to us on YouTube. Interact with us on Twitter. We've been much better on Twitter. and Instagram. We're trying with Instagram. Please interact with us. It helps our engagement and it helps us, boost um, our viewership and our following. So it would help us out a lot. And that's all I've got for today. This has been Chase.
Ryan.
Danny.
Thank you all for listening or watching, and we will see you in next week's episode. Peace.